I'm Dr. Robert Okin. I'm the author of Silent Voices, People with Mental Disorders on the Street. I was inspired to undertake this project by some people that I met on the street. In fact, it started when on one rainy night, I think it was in 2010, I was walking from the hospital to my car in San Francisco. And I remember passing a small homeless woman huddled up and shivering on the sidewalk. For weeks afterwards, she kept coming back into my mind. I think it must have been the contrast between my privilege and her desperation. I could just get into my car and stay dry, whereas she was going to have to get rained on all night. I know it was irrational, but I felt that by escaping into my car, I had kind of deserted her in a way. I found myself wondering how she could stand living on the street, how she survived sleeping outside in the rain and the cold. Of course, I had treated many such people in the hospital, but I never felt I viscerally understood what their lives were really like. I decided to leave my position as chief of psychiatry in the hospital and spend time on the streets talking to people who I had previously just walked past. I wanted to understand how they coped. I wanted to know what they thought about as they pushed their carts around the city, what they did with so much empty time on their hands, and how they managed at night. I was also interested in why they made some of the self-defeating choices they sometimes did. I wanted to see these people beyond their rags, their carts, their tin cups, and their strange behaviors. I guess I wanted to understand what it was like to live in their skin and walk in their shoes. I wanted to understand their joys and sorrows, whether they had any vision for their lives. I also wanted to see the things we had in common as people, not just the ways we were different. In fact, the main reason I wrote this book was to try to make these people known to the reader as human beings, to break the cycle of stigma that is so destructive to them. Perhaps the reader, on seeing their faces and hearing their stories, will come to regard them differently. Perhaps then these people will finally have a chance in life.